Dorfromantik is the super relaxing puzzle slash city builder cross between Carcassonne and Settlers of Catan, whose demo I quickly covered some months back. It was just released into early access, so this is the perfect time to give the game a more in-depth look, see what it truly has to offer and what is promised for the future. Nothing has changed from a graphic standpoint. We're still looking at cutesy, chillaxy, quasi-pastel colored hexagonal tiles, which we have to move around and place in order to build crop fields, cities, bodies of water and railway tracks. There are more biomes introduced though, so as you move throughout your map you'll notice these elements I just mentioned shifting colors. You begin with a stack of randomized tiles, which can contain up to 3 different types of building elements. These elements being forests, cities, crop fields, bodies of water, railway tracks, and a couple of special tiles which tend to be their own sort of thing with particular applications. You can start placing them however you wish, but the more you build up your map, the more restricted your tile placement choices become, because whenever you wish to place a new tile, it will ideally have to share an element with one of the tiles already placed. Your prior placement decisions influence your ongoing placement constantly, but likewise, you should also place things looking to the future. Technically speaking, there are situations in which you either can't place or won't be able to place particular tiles next to some others, but these occasions are highly situational, and in order to get into those, I have to tell you about quests. Every once and again, you'll get some tiles that come with a dialog box over them, featuring a category and a number. This means that you need to connect that number of whatever the element is to that tile. Now, this is an important differentiation that has to be made. It does not say the number of tiles you have to connect, because some tiles can feature 3 or more entries of the same element, for instance, trees. These quests are either open-ended, represented by a number and a plus, or hard-limited quests, represented by just a number. There are also quest tiles that feature a number and a triangle next to it. This represents a flag and means that the particular quest group of tiles, once it is completed, can be further locked for more rewards. When you complete a quest, you get points and some much needed new tiles. This is the only way of gaining tiles and thus continuing the game. When you lock a flag quest, you get more tiles, but in order to lock the group, you need to place tiles that do not share elements at the group's borders, thus disallowing you to use those elements to fulfill future quests. The game is built around a very subtle and well implemented risk-reward mechanic. At most points in the game, basically at every turn, you will have many placement options for that turn's tile. Now, in some cases that choice is limited by your previous choices, for better or worse, and in some cases when you get tiles with water and railroads, they can only really go attached to other such tiles. But when that is not the case, you have to think long and hard about where you most need to place that turn's tile. Is it in a place that will aid in a quest, or in a different area where you are growing an insanely large forest, city or crop field for a potential future quest? And regardless of where you choose to place it, will that decision come to bite you in the ass later on? Only time will tell, and it does. The sound design is super relaxing itself as well. When you rotate the tiles, they click with a very satisfying, almost analog sounding click. And the music is super laid back in the background. There are also sounds of birds chirping and roosters and such. This, combined with the colors and art style, makes for a relaxing but still actively challenging play experience. There are new tiles to be unlocked at various achievement stages during your playthroughs, so that's cool because these tiles aren't necessarily only aesthetic, some of them have gameplay purposes. And I wholly suggest you run the tutorial, not only to get accustomed to the very few mechanics the game has to offer, but also to get the windmill tile, which is a quest tile that you'll want in your deck. In its main menu there is a section called Creative Mode, which is coming later in development, and the devs said that they plan on creating more biomes and unlockable tiles. The important thing is that this game is insanely playable and replayable as it is. Dorfromantik fits into that easy to learn, hard to master recipe that has given some games staying power throughout millennia of human history. I'm not saying it's anywhere equal to something like Go or chess, but I am saying that it is walking in the footsteps of Tetris. Whether or not we'll be playing Dorfromantik in 30 plus years, that remains to be seen. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and share it wherever you think it would be appreciated. It would also be great if you'd consider subscribing and then clicking that bell notification button. That part is so crucial for small channels such as my own. I also have a Patreon page